Episode 193. Are these comics going to make good film and television shows? We have Cable with Chrome and Love, or Love and Chrome, whichever one comes first. And we have Pumpkin, number one. So let's talk about them right now. Number one. Welcome right now. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zanca. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, just got off the phone with another producer friend of mine, and looks like we're going to have some stuff going on generally quickly in the next couple of weeks. So that would be extremely nice. All right, so let's jump into Cable. This is Love and Chrome, and this is written by David Pepose, who's one, if you watched my best comics of the year for 2024, he did Space Ghost. So, but he also did that really bad Punisher series. So, yeah, so it's a hit and miss for me, but when he hits, he really hits, because I love, unless there are certain writers that will connect with certain characters. And like we see that with Joshua Williamson, I think, with like Duke. He really connected with Duke, and I think that it showed. Where David Pepose really connected with Space Ghost, what his vision was for that, and it really shone there too. Not so much here. I know a lot of people that like it, which is great. I am a fan of Cable, but I don't feel like this is a decent Cable book. The artwork is definitely not helping. So he's starting out like almost like in a Mad Max situation, attached to the front of a truck, and he's like, "You must think about why I'm attached to this truck. It's because I have them right where I want them." Yeah, okay. So we have, like I said, there's basically this Mad Max situation going on. He's time sliding, all this stuff. I don't like the artwork in the least. The coloring's decent. So he has this affliction where I guess that's why they sent him into the future, which is also what they did with the cartoon, where he has a technovirus, where parts of his body are becoming metal or whatever else, where the cells are being turned. I really didn't know that originally about Cable. And he has telekinesis, which keeps it at bay. What happens when he sleeps? I don't know if that makes much sense either. So when he ends up fighting this baddie, which I thought was kind of cool, but he ends up, going, he gets wounded originally too, but he ends up going into another time period. I think he does time slide, but he thinks he's going to kill the baddie with that, but he doesn't. So they end up going into this other time period. I'm not even sure it's another world or whatever, but definitely another time period where he ends up in another war-torn area, and he gets, that's a woman there. I know it's hard to tell in the original piece, but he's in an area where everyone has the same affliction he does, and there's a corporation that's making them work off their addiction to the drug they're giving them to keep, so instead of having his telekinesis keep everything at bay, they're taking drugs for it. So they're rebelling now against this corporation. And at the same time, they're falling in love. She's like, "Oh, cowboy, you're so awesome." And he's like, "Get down." "Okay." Not like that. So anyway, they decide that they're going to work together to fight these guys. She's wielding an axe. He's firing guns, and they just go to town. And So we get, some decent fight scenes here, but it's like, do I care? That's the question. By the end of this, do I care? So we have this tank thing going on, and she thinks that he's gonna die, and he ends up time sliding and taking over the tank, and he's like, hey baby, I'm here to stop the tank. And she's like, oh my god, you're my hero. Cowboy. And the big baddie is not dead. He's like, I'm gonna get you, sucker. And that's it. So yeah, by the end of this, I just didn't care. Sorry. So I won't be getting any more of it. It definitely doesn't have that same feel as the Space Ghost one does. Again, the Space Ghost one is just kind of a flash in the pan, I think. I think it's just that he just connects really, really well with those characters, and I don't think that he's going to be able to write anything else as well. All right, so before we move on, remember, too, that I am a comic book writer myself, and we have my space epic Odyssey, Destiny Aurora. This is a full 150-page graphic novel with some amazing artwork. It's really good for all ages. There is a little bit of extra things that you may have to explain to a kid, but nothing major. And so this one is based on my 4-book novel series. This is an adaptation of the first novel, and it's also on Audible. If you'd like a copy, let me know. We just did get picked up for distribution, for publishing, actually, who's also going to be doing distribution. So Blood Moon's picking that up, so we are going to be in stores as well for individual issues. Plus, this is my Lords of L.A. This is my vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood. So this is a mix between True Blood meets The Godfather. This is the Katana cover with Lena. It's basically a revenge story as well. This is issue 1, and again, I do have these digitally as well. I do sign them as well, too. And the artwork here is pretty good. It's the same artist on both issues. They're 48 pages apiece, so we got double-sized issues. And so this is the Marilyn cover. Since it's 1950s, Marilyn's in it. And you can see the Nosferatu shadow in the back there. It's pretty cool. They didn't use that in the movie, though. This is the Were-Panther cover, and I do have this as a nude version as well. This is the Samurai cover, and this is the Helene cover. So if you'd like a copy, let me know. I've now pretty much satisfied all of my supporters on Kickstarter, so I have a few copies left over. All right, so let's jump into... Oh, before we jump into that, I got to tell you about Green Hornet. This is not the actual copy that's going to be on sale. This is an older version of a Green Hornet book that Moonstone has put out. We're doing a brand new anthology series or anthology book. It's going to be a hardcover, and it is going to be the 50th anniversary, so it's an anniversary edition, and it's going to be like one of the writers helming it is Timothy Zahn. So if you're a fan of Thrawn or Zahn's writing, he is going to be one of the lead writers on the book, along with Kevin J. Anderson, who does Dune. Some amazing, amazing writers. There's going to be like a dozen writers on this thing, and the cover art is done by Matt Wagner, who did Batman and Grendel. So lots of really great guys on this thing. So go to greenhornetnoir.com, or you can go to the description below. It has a link to the Kickstarter. We're going to be launching in 3 weeks. So definitely get notified about when we launch. It's going to be awesome. There's also a video there, and it's got the list of all the other writers. All right, so let's jump into Pumpkin. You may have not heard about this one. This is a Kickstarter book. They're up to issue 3 now. So I only had issue 2 and issue 3. So when they had issue 1 for sale, I picked it up. This is a horror book based on a slasher character that they created called Pumpkin. They never really say Pumpkin. But I love the look of the character. I think they really did a good job differentiating it from anything else. And I don't think the story really goes too far into anything unique. But overall, I really enjoy it. And the artwork is only okay, but it does the job. I don't hate it. So we start out, and of course, I've seen everything that's happened in the next two issues. So I'm kind of, this is all like kind of a flashback for me. Because I've already seen what happens to some of these characters, but I didn't see how they started. So here, I'm going to call her Mouse because that's what she ends up being called later. Paige, right. The main character's name is Paige. And Paige is talking about her looking forward to going to college and reinventing herself, and that she's not popular here, and this whole bit. And, I guess they're talking about going to a party, and she's like, I wasn't invited anyway, but you go have fun. And their relationship is important for later on. But anyway, she gets a text to meet her at a barn. She's like, I need help, my car broke down, whatever. Come meet me at the barn. Okay, fall for that one. So now she's like, what are all these cars doing here? So, and of course, it's actually Halloween at this point. So these girls left the party or whatever to go screw with Paige. And the one in the hat, with the witch costume, her boyfriend said that he slept with Paige. And she's like, no, it's a lie. I didn't. Meanwhile, is that a jester? It's got horns or whatever. It looks like a jester. The jester, chick is just crazy. And of course, we have the blonde that is, the token stuck-up character, etc. So they're like, yes, you did, and we're gonna get you, bitch. Because you, and he's like, no, I didn't do it, he was lying. No, you're the one who's lying. And she gets slapped in the face. No, don't do it. So these girls are literally terrorizing her. But, and this is not the page. And she's asking her friend for help, Mouse there, I'm going to call her Mouse. And she's like, tell him. And she stays silent because they offered her a seat at the table kind of thing. But crazy jester bitch stabs her. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I did not mean to put that there. Oh, wait, let me try it again. So meanwhile, Witch Chick is now like, I didn't sign up for this. This is not what I wanted. She's like, you specifically said you wanted to get her, but not like this. And they hand her the knife, and she's like, no, I'm not going to do it. And she's like, oh, yes, you are. So she picks up the knife, and yeah, she stabs her too. So now she's got a whole bunch of different wounds bleeding out. And she's like, stop, you're killing me. Yeah, that's the point. And then they tell Mouse, because that's what she's dressed as, and that's how she gets the name later on, that she has to go stab her too. So she tries to get away. She's crawling, and her best friend there can't even look at her as she stabs her in the back. I thought that was a really interesting choice, to have her look away as she stabs her, and Jester Bitch decides to finish the job by drowning her in the mud. And they all leave her there. And she gets, I guess, visited in her mind, and she's like, no, I can't be dead. I haven't even had sex yet. And you think I'm kidding, that's what she actually says. And he's like, you want revenge? She's like, I want to live again. Well, I can't offer you that, but I can offer you revenge. And she's like, okay, I'll take it. I will take the revenge. And he's like, hell yeah! Hells yeah! And his claws come up out of the ground and pull her in. And I thought this was interesting how I guess they've been looking for her for a year, and that's how they showed the passage of time. Although I think that's kind of a waste of a page when they could have just said 1 year later, which is kind of what they do in the next page 1 year later. So it's kind of a waste of a page. They could have done that in like 2 panels. But anyway, she comes up out of the ground and she is now Pumpkin. So we only get to see Pumpkin at the very end of this. I think that's a bit of a cop-out to have the main character only come in on the last page. But overall, this is one of the only Kickstarter books I actually look forward to. I think it's got a lot of style, and I like horror books, and it's really a good little slasher. And I think, so to wrap it up, I think this would make an amazing little horror movie. This like Terrifier type of thing where this could, spawn its own little franchise. Good stuff as far as I'm concerned. Even though it's reusing tropes continuously. There's nothing unique about it other than the look of the character. It's a revenge story. It's a slasher. Mean Girls. There is nothing new under the sun about this, but I like the style of it. And then we have Cable, of which I just didn't get into it. So I don't think it would make a good movie. There's so many different storylines you could do with Cable. Why have him go into like a war zone where he's part of the resistance and everybody else has the same affliction as him? It's just nothing there as far as I'm concerned. So that's my 2 cents on that. Thank you again so much for watching. That's it for me. I really appreciate it. Remember, give me a thumbs up. Give me a like if you can. And let me know what you guys are collecting. If you have any of these books, let me know. Or if you're collecting something completely different that I'm not collecting. Plus, remember to give me a subscribe if you can. It's free. Just ring that bell, ding, ding. And you'll get notified about when I have additional videos go up. I'm trying to do every day. I had an internet outage, so I didn't get one up today. I tried to upload it, but it stopped. And then on top of that, remember to get notified about Green Hornet. Go to greenhornetnoir.com or click the link in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy New Year, everyone. Hope everybody's having a great week, and I'll see you on the next episode. Everyone, hope everybody's having a great week, and I'll see you on the next episode. Everyone, hope everybody's having a